Okay then, I think we've finally managed to get everything up and running correctly without any more errors. Just audio check. Yep, seems to be working fine. Hello everybody and welcome to the season finale of DRL Super Formula here on the Dynamic Racing League's YouTube channel. We are here in the UK once again, Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit. We're going to have some exciting stuff for you in, of course, the season finale. I believe it's a relatively, well, decent-sized grid compared to as of late. I believe we're currently in the middle of qualifying. Again, I do apologise for the delays. We've been having big technical issues. So at the moment in qualifying, it's actually Joe of the Fire who's currently at the top of the times, with championship leader BRT James currently in second, currently going up the hill a little bit, not on the tarmac. Not that far behind in terms of the times at the moment is Ayrton Spanner. He's currently third. King of Torque. We still have a fair bit of the session to go. We're just coming up to the halfway mark in the 15-minute qualifying period. Being a shorter circuit is actually, oh my life, who was that with no wheels? That's GRM Bandit going for the complete weight loss approach and has lost all of his wheels. Hope they've returned for the cutscene. Will they disappear again? We'll have to see. He's currently qualified himself in third, and it seems that the wheels are indeed back, which is always good. The thing with being the Indy circuit of Brands Hatch, it is very, very short, even shorter than Blue Moon Bay. That basically means that there's going to be a lot of traffic making their way around, and it's going to be quite a nightmare, I'd imagine, because Brands Hatch isn't the widest of circuits as is. We'll have to see how it all develops, of course. Currently at 4 viewers, thanks for tuning in. There's yellow flags practically everywhere. Someone's parked at the top of Paddock Hill. Just outside of camera shot on that occasion. Oh, and Bandit just going a bit wide. Did well to keeping out the wall, to be fair. And the dirt on the tyres not helping him. So it's a substitute for John Wandering, I believe it is. Joe of the Fire, may recognise him from the NES, TSR, many other places. He's currently at the top of the times. Less than a tenth separates him from James though, and James will be looking to take the title here today. Oracle, he's got quite a decent margin on points over everyone else. There he is, of course, in the Britannia Raven West machine, or whatever his team's called these days. He gets out of the way for, that must be King of Torque. Yep, it is indeed King of Torque. Was returning as well, 16 on the helmet, 98 on the car. The BMW Dynamic Esports team, again, should be looking quite strong. They already wrapped up the team's championship, but what can they do for the last 2 races of the season? Of course, we mentioned Ayrton Spanner is here as well, the Team Black Diamond. Actually car 16. Only 11 thousandths off the pace of King of Torque at this stage. So, definitely looking to be at the sharp end of the field, as we normally see him. He does indeed go faster than King of Torque, puts himself up to third. teammate Sailor in another Team Black Diamond car. Now he's making his way around. He's currently qualified himself in 5th, going to the timing sheets. So good effort by him so far. GRM Bandit. Of course, Nuka also main driver, has to be said, or one of the main drivers. Of course, no fan favourite John Wandering here today, unfortunately. Still with the Benetton livery that he ran last time out at the Blue Moon Bay, the Tri-Oval is the word I'm looking for. So it goes very bright and yellow, with the green on the sides as well. Very eye-catching. Dynamic Carbon currently 8/10 off pace, but he's just clipping the grass as well. He's gone sent to Narnia up the hill, completely off our camera shot. There he is, also still in their livery from the Blue Moon Bay Oval race, with the Niki Lauda tribute, of course. TSR Jimmy as well, here in the classic car guy livery machine. We've seen him driving TSR before this championship, and here now, of course, car 93. Should be another strong one. Jimmy's quite a strong driver. We've got Spinny Boy Mika here as well, in a slightly different looking Motul by Nuke Shot Cosworth machine, featuring a liquid metallic paint scheme that I've only just recently come up with. And Brandon, of course, in the Alfa Romeo. Oh, he's had a major accident at the top of Paddock Hill, and he resets to the pit lane from that. Do not blame him, that looked extremely serious. Joe still just gaining a little bit of time. There's yellow flags again as someone span around trying to enter the pit lane. That's Sailor. Oh, everything's kicking off. There's more cars going flying. There's contact between Carbon and was that James? It looked like James. So Carbon and James coming together. This is only qualifying, mind you, so very unusual to see this amount of carnage already. We just watched some of the cars go by. Joe the Fire continuing to get faster and faster as the fuel burns away. Now 2/10 clear of BRT James. And if my timing is correct, we should only have 50 seconds left in qualifying. But given it's a 36 or 35-second lap if you would Joe the Fire, it's certainly possible to get a couple more in. Joe's looking strong at the moment, though. Certainly has to be said. As James has slowed down at the run up to Druids. That was a bit odd. Whether it's intentional or not, we don't know. Seems to be a bit of smoke coming from the tyres, though, so that might be an indication. Ayrton Spanner into the pits. They are currently 9 thousandths down. So the timing should be there. So cars just on their last laps. What can Ayrton Spanner do? It's on an out lap, so it won't count. James looking like they won't improve either, and that's Mika going for a bit of a slide as well. These guys having to get used to a physics change. It's not the most advantageous of times. Nearly a bit of coming together there between King of Torque and one of the new Colosso cars. So at the end of qualifying, indeed everyone has finished their laps, so it's going to be Joe of the Fire. Their first appearance in Dynamic Racing Leagues, if I am not mistaken. They take the pole position. It's going to be James, the championship leader, who will be alongside him on the first row of the grid rather. On the second row of the grid it will be Ayrton Spencer alongside GRM Bandit. This is all assuming that Carbon, who's in the pits, didn't quite make the cut in between them. Let's work this out. So Carbon will slot in 7th. So it's going to be Joe pole, James 2nd, Ayrton Spencer 3rd, Bandit 4th, King of Torque 5th, Sailor 6th, Carbon 7th, Jimmy 8th, Mika 9th, and Brandon 10th. Assuming that I've got my maths correct, of course. So, just having a little bit of a break period as we usually do, and then we will be getting race 1 underway, a 30-minute race, and that'll be followed by well, of course, the 20-minute race with the reverse grid order of the top 8. Or was it the top 12? I need to look that up again. But certainly a strong performance by this guy, Joe of the Fire. Nice helmet there. Wonder who designed it. I'm gonna see if I can get all my extra info up while we are on the break period. Of course, thanks to everyone who's currently tuning in. We did experience some technical difficulties earlier on. But of course we are now just about ready. There shouldn't be any more technical issues, or at least I hope not. And then we can finally enjoy some racing here at a very sunny Brands Hatch, it has to be said. Hello, it's Driftmeister. Nice to see you here. So I assume that's going to be a good friend Brandon saying that because you'd be starting P10. Just try not to outbrake yourself is the main idea for everyone really going into turn 1 here. No doubt there will be an incident if at least one person or something like that isn't careful enough. Let's hope for the best. Where is the thread? Where is the thread? I have found the DTM thread, but not the Super Formula thread. Things are going great. A bit of sliding there, courtesy of, I believe that was King of Torque. Ah, here we go. The Super Formula thread. So I'll take you through the championship standings actually, as of right now. So the championship standings, it's Jim 38737, or James as he's now known, on 125 points. He's currently in first in the championship. Dynamic Carbon is second on 98 points. And King of Torque is third on 95 points. RBZ Arama is in 4th on 94 points, but isn't here today, so they stand to lose a few positions in the championship. Potentially to GRM Bandit, who's only 2 points behind on 92 points. They're in 5th. Then it's Brandon, who is on 55 points in 6th. John Wandering on 44 points in 7th. Jim Jam, everyone's favourite Jimmer, as opposed to, you know, alternatives. Cough cough broadbent, cough cough. He's currently in 8th in the championship, 42 points. Ayrton Spenner is on 27 points, surprisingly, considering the amount of success that they generally have with the championship, of course, joining a bit later on. Sailor is on 26 points, so 1 point behind their Team Black Diamond teammate. Mika is in 11th on 19 points. He is here tonight, so he'll be hoping to get some extra points on the board, advance his position up the order. And Roland Jupiter is 12th in the championship. Actually no, joined 11th in the championship. They are also on 19 points alongside Mika. As for the team championships, Dynamic Racing wrapped up the championship last time, I believe, and on 193 points. Then it's Nuco also, who are in 2nd in the championship with 136 points. Raven West is on 125 points, so not that far behind. Only 11 separates 2nd from 3rd. So Raven West, of course, in 3rd. Nukeshot Motorsport, they are on 113 points, so if Mika does score very well, he could see the team up the order. They're in 4th. Hyper Racing, that would be Brandon and Roland. They are on 64 points, and they are currently ranked 5th. And TSR Racing, they are currently on 42 points and in 6th. So, not too long to go now. Should be seeing some great racing, let's hope. Seeming like we're getting the call from the race director that we are going to be starting. All eyes will probably be on this guy, BRT James. Just needs to score well in race 1, and I believe he should have the championship secured. Well, he's not quite won it as of yet, because he's just changed up his livery, if I recall. I don't... Or was it always that sort of silver? I imagine it being yellow a while back in the season. Maybe he's changed that up. Maybe it's always been like that. Maybe I've lost my mind. Well, here we go then, for the second to last time this season. We are going to go racing, and we are here, of course, at Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit for the season finale, race 1 of 2 of Dynamic Racing League Super Formula. It's going to be Joe of the Fire on pole position with BRT James alongside N Spanner 3rd, Bandit 4th, King of Talk 5th, Sailor 6th, Dynamic Carbon in 7th, TSR Jimmy in 8th, 9th is Spinny Boy Mika, and Brandon Hay is in 10th. We're about to go racing here at Brands Hatch. Green, 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 and the cars are off. That's a lightning launch from Joe of the Fire, and he gets away completely cleanly. Look at this, and Spanner, and that's King of Talk as well, taking advantage and going down the inside of 2nd on the grid. James, so James has really fell down the order. Cars going wide at Druid. Someone's stuck on the grid, I'm hearing. Who's that? It's Sailor. Sailor was stuck on the grid. Joe the Fire's starting to get away a little bit, but fantastic launch, has to be said, by him and Ed Spenner, who's launched his way up into 2nd in this one. James is still having to catch up after that. And I believe that is Sailor, who has just left the track due to being stuck on the grid. That's extremely unfortunate. Look, I don't recall seeing that all season in this championship, to be honest, someone being stuck on the grid. They're making their way up through the last corner. James has a lot of work to do here. Just needs to score well. See if there's a bit of a scrap further back. Some more cars leaving the track. I think we're getting a restart. Yep, we are having a restart of this race. So, after all the mayhem with Sailor just being stuck on the grid, it seems, they've opted to do a restart. Let's hope that the grid order will be set properly again. Yep. Okay, Carvin seems to know what he's doing. That's always useful. Sailor has gone to just clear his system cache for now, and hopefully we'll be back shortly. Either that or he's doing a full reset. Oh no, he's just back. There is GRM Bandit over the hill, not that far away. BRT James had a bit of a scary start, losing positions to the Team Black Diamond and Dynamic Esports cars of Ed and Spanner, who's also in shot there, and Kino Torko isn't in shot. So it's got a bit of a mulligan, which he'll certainly be happy with. As that's TSR Jimmy, who is doing a bit of sliding, putting on a little bit of a show for us at the moment while we wait. Brandon in the lobby chat saying it was a phenomenal race using the Gran Turismo auto-translate messages. Well, actually, you see, if we have enough time, I'll let Spinning Boy Mika take you for a lap of the track. That's something we didn't quite have time to do in qualifying, or at least I forgot. So, going up to turn 1, Paddock Hill, of course. Very easy to get the line wrong because of the elevation change. Then the Druid's hairpin. Again, have to be very careful on throttle application. Graham Hill Bend. Again, just trying to make sure you don't run too wide. You can generally get away with running wide as the unghosted car of Sailor catches Mika out. That's extremely unfortunate as we were checking out the onboard. So we'll go back to the onboard now and see what we can do. Oh, he's gone into the gravel. James should generally be going through there as well. Yep. So James is on his way round. Whether he's just gonna park up or not, it's looking like he's just gonna park up. Mika's our best bet. And you can sort of see the liquid metallic effect. Oh no, he's parking up as well. Essentially, in the last sector, it's a high-speed left followed by a very long right that opens up, leading back to the start-finish line. You can see that on the track map, of course, in the top right. Again, a fantastically colourful grid, it has to be said. Okay, the final has started for the actual second to last time this season. Last time for major points. Again, James going to be the one to watch. He's in the best position to win this championship. And again, we're about to go racing here at Brands Hatch. Joe of the Fire, of course, on pole position. James alongside. 30 minutes of racing are about to get underway. Fantastic weather yet again. We're about to go green here at Brands Hatch. Green, 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 and the cars are off. There's a lot of wheel spin on this occasion from Ayrton Spanner. Again, Joe gets away cleanly. King of Torque trying to challenge around the outside. Hasn't worked. That's Brandon who's in the gravel at the back. So a couple cars getting the first bit wrong. Making their way through. Now it's starting to go a bit more single file. So besides the two at the back, relatively clean start, has to be said. Ayrton Spanner will be kicking himself for the amount of wheel spin he got off the line though. And they're already coming up to complete lap 1. Joe the Fire leads from James. As that's actually Carbon coming into the pit. So what's happened here? So he's picked up rear aero damage at some point, and yep, engine damage on top of that from a massive shunt. So many cars just trying to dive into the pit lane. That really wasn't the safest of things. Now Carbon trying to get up past Brandon after he made that pit stop. Seeming to do so just fine. So there's several cars that seem to already have picked up damage and such, so the field very much shuffled around. Still Joe that currently leads this one, as Mika is looking to get past TSR Jimmy. Probably the closest scrap on track at the moment. He's looking to the inside of the Druid's hairpin. He's gonna have to try and get a good exit, can't quite. And he's run wide onto the grass and he's gone sent to Narnia up the hill. And he's out of shot. He seems to have parked the car. No, the arrow's moving again. He's falling down the order. He's back on track now. Has he picked up damage yet? He's got rear aero damage. Brandon has retired from this one. It's unfortunate to see. James starting to come under a bit of pressure from Ayrton Spanner behind. Just gone purple in that second sector though. Still got that overtake mode that they can be using as well. Now there is one, I believe there's a mandatory pit stop in this particular race. Yep. Well, depending on what these guys are starting on, I believe these will be starting on softs. It all comes down to whether or is it mandatory? My apologies, I've completely forgotten everything from the madness that's been happening today. But it's still currently, there's yellow flags, and that's Mika at the top of Paddock Hill. We're gonna go on board with him. What seemed to happen here? Did he just run with a bit too wide of an entry? Yep. Too wide of an entry, and it just really bit him back. And that's Mika gone. So another retirement from the race. Still Joe the Fire leads. These top four seem to have really broken away from the rest of the field. And James doing a very good job. Right where he needs to be. Joe the Fire, the car ahead, isn't in the championship fight. And Spanner, meanwhile, technically isn't either, but could be taking points off of him. Dynamic GT, who is also not on track anymore. So Carbon left the track as well, and that was James's closest challenger in the championship. That means that James might have already won the Drivers' Championship if he just finishes where he is. If he gets enough points. He's starting to look quite good for the Raven West Mercedes machine. And Spanner coming up, still putting the pressure on. Going to go on board with that and Spanner as they make their way down through Paddock Hill, the Welshman. Just running a little bit wide out of Graham Hill Bend. Of course you can get away with that. And just trying to take out as much time as you can. The dirty SO coming into effect. Someone else has gone off. Someone else has gone off. That's King of Torque. What happened to him then? So coming through the last sector, just runs too wide and slides into the wall. So they had to come into the pits from that. That's extremely unfortunate stuff. They're on their way out. They rejoin in 5th, but it looks like Bandit's gonna just about get a run on them. They've got the inside going up to Druids. They're still side by side, and Sailor's trying to come into the mix as well. Bandit's gonna have to try the outside, doesn't quite work out for them. This is allowing Sailor to also put the pressure on. And Sailor's gonna try around the outside, and it looks like they've nearly got it done. And indeed, Sailor gets past, so Bandit trying to make a position ends up losing one instead. They're still within this scrap though. There's still plenty of the race to go. We've only had about 7 minutes into this one. The scrap between 2nd and 3rd is starting to come a bit more alive. These guys are a lot closer than they were earlier in the race. Perhaps Ant and Spanner just sizing James up, looking to see what he can do. There's another retirement. As it looks like James has just about left the door on the inside open, and indeed, Spanner comes through, but he's going to try a cutback, and it will be on the inside to Druids. Just needs to run him out wide. Does so fantastically, and it was Jim Jam who left. So just 6 cars left in this one. We did have around 10 starters, but James doing extremely well with the racecraft to be able to keep that position. A bit further back it looks like Sailor and King rather are coming very close as well. King having to defend with the overtake mode, as it looks like they're going down the inside. That's King running a bit wide. Bandit's going to try and follow, doesn't quite work out. Meanwhile, James seeming to have to defend again. We'll see if we can get this on a replay. This is up to Druids again, these two side by side. But again, it was James that came out on top of that. As they're making their way back up, side by side again. It's going to be a running theme. This time James will be on the outside line going through Paddock Hill, having to defend. Gonna have to try a cutback or something. Doesn't look like it's quite worked out for him, so and Spanner moves up. Oh, James running onto the grass. Could have so easily CJ'd it. right on the limits. Oh, extremely close to hitting the rear diffuser. It looks like James has lost this battle, at least for now. We'll certainly be trying to challenge a bit later on. We'll go back to this scrap for 4th, 5th and 6th. These guys, again, extremely close together as well. Sailor currently on the step just outside the podium. And King Talk will be benefiting from Slipstream, but it's going to be a case of how much will the dirty air affect them, as there isn't too many straight line opportunities around here. It's mainly slow speed and mid speed corners at the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, and it does look like Sailor is starting to get a bit of a gap. So car 8 doing very, very well. Just gone up to 7 viewers on the stream. Thanks again for tuning in. This is the first race of 2 at the season finale of DRL Super Formula. Round 6, of course. As that's King of Torque going all over the grass. Let's see if we can quickly get a replay of that. Then he's sliding again. King of Torque really not happy with the car. And in fact, Bandit's going down his inside, is he? Oh! In trying to just give himself a bit more space, clip the grass, that could have so easily have gone wrong. It's gone wrong for me in the past, that's certainly the case. Hello to Martin in the chat. King apologizing to Bandit for that. Although it looked like there wasn't contact, it was just King who slightly weaved to the outside and onto the grass. Again, just you see that massive slide and twitch from the Dynamic Esports BMW. It's really not looking happy. King perhaps not as comfortable with the new physics as some of the other drivers here. Certainly Bandit seems to have taken well to them, as Bandit tries the inside line. Doesn't quite work out on this occasion, but he's certainly giving it a good go. There you see his teammate behind us. That's a massive lockup from King of Torque, and Bandit's gonna take advantage of that using the overtake and gets ahead. But he's ran too deep, he's carried too much speed and he's gone off. And that's gonna put Bandit down to 6th. And down a lap as well to the race leader. That's extremely unfortunate for Bandit, just pushing a little bit too much. But it is indeed, as Martin notes in the chat, Joe of the Fire, purple in sector 1, again, Chalk. As there's someone else who's gone off. Who was that? That King of Torque? It looked like it might have been. So again, King of Torque really struggling with the new physics. It seems just running way too wide. And into the wall they go. That's a heavy impact. The car seems to be in one piece, but that's because of the game engine not featuring visible like pieces of the car just flying off. Did he even get anything fixed from that? Oh, he did. It just looked quite quick. Oh, there was the white line crossed on exit. But there was a massive twitch, it has to be said, from the car. Ayrton Spencer coming up to being 2 seconds back from Joe the Fire. So if Joe the Fire makes any mistakes, he'll certainly be there to capitalize. Seeming that the gap isn't really increasing further from that. Someone else has gone off. That's BRT James, actually. What's happened to James? Our championship leader, what's gone on here? It's just carrying too much speed, and then the car just grinds to a stop. And even James, our championship leader, has decided he's out of this race. So we're down to 5 runners. There's another car that's sideways. He's King of Torque again. He's extremely struggling with the car. Just sliding all over the shop. Look at this. He just cannot find the traction. Joe the Fire still only 2 seconds ahead as it's a sliding King of Torque again in between him and Ayrton Spanner. Again, King really seems to have lost his cool with the car. Not like him, as he's just gone for a trip into the gravel. Is it safe for him to continue like this? Will the team bring him in? I don't know. He's really frustrated with the car. You can tell by his driving style. It's really seemed to heat up a lot more compared to his normal style, it has to be said. Yeah, he's an aggressive driver in terms of late braking and such, but not to the extent of pushing the car this much. And that's, in fact, GRM Bandit who's coming up to lap him. Blue flags are being waved. It is a short circuit, of course, but that just shows how much King of Torque is struggling with the car. King of Torque, known in DRL as being one of the fastest drivers in the community. It's just not working out for him on this occasion. The gap's coming down between Ayrton Spanner and Joe of the Fire. Joe still just managing the gap at this stage. Perhaps Ayrton Spanner's using a bit of their overtake mode compared to them. Let's see. Yeah, they've used a fair chunk of it. And a lot more compared to Joe of the Fire. Team Black Diamond's having a very good race, running second and third. Admittedly, we have had quite a lot of retirements. But nevertheless, the Judd-powered cars are going well. You see Sailor just making his way through Graham Hill Bend. He seems to not be struggling anywhere near as much as King of Torque was with the physics. So perhaps he's just going used to them a bit better. At the start of the race, I believe there was 10 drivers, so yeah, plenty of retirements, which is extremely unfortunate to see. Sort of a combination of short and narrow track, as well as new physics that have only been around for 2 days. Really not working out for quite a lot of people. Those that seem to have put the time in with the practice certainly seem to have benefited quite a lot. We know King of Torque generally, in the past at least, has shown up right on the verge of qualifying, or has even missed qualifying in the past, as that's them again on the inside of Druid, on the exit rather. Extremely twitchy. This is unnaturally twitchy from King of Torque. Like, these are stock setup cars, and considering 4 of the drivers are able to keep it on the track for the most part, This is extremely concerning. There's not even damage on the car, but King of Torque's coming into the pits. Joe the Fire still leads. The gap still coming down between them and Ayrton Senna. Hopefully we'll be seeing a bit of a closer race between those two later on. Sailor nearly becoming a lap down, which is quite a shock. Sailor has generally had a clean race compared to a lot of people in this one. As James has just left the lobby entirely. So just under 10 minutes to go in this one. 5 cars stand remaining. As that, oh, who's that now? Surely not again. Can you talk again? Just coming up to Graham Hill Bend again. That twitching is not natural by any means. And just, yeah, losing it on the run up. It's extremely unusual. I'm not even trying to discredit King of Torque here, like, we've seen in the past like how strong of a driver he is, and this is just so unusual. As there's someone else going off in the gravel at the back. That's GRM Bandit. See what happened to him. Was it just a case of flipping the marbles a bit, and Indy just taking a trip, and then just about manages to get the car stopped before running into the wall, but picking up more marbles. This is extremely odd stuff. Bandit coming up. Taking a talk again, it would seem, yep. But Ayrton Senna, the gap really starting to come down, now 1.2, 1.3 seconds, but he has used a lot of his overtake mode. The light is red around the airbox, so that means he's into his last 20%. He's still managing to keep pace with Joe the Fire at this stage in the race. Joe coming up to lap, I believe that was Sailor again, making his way through Paddock Hill. Again, exceptional drive from the Brit, has to be said, so far. Just to jump in as a reserve for the fan favourite Joe Mondrin, who again couldn't be here tonight, unfortunately. The gap's starting to increase a fair bit more now that Ayrton Senna can't use the overtake mode as much. 7 minutes to go. Third place and down have been lapped. Bandit and Sailor are actually still on the same lap as each other, but Bandit currently 14.7 seconds behind the Norwegian. As that Sailor coming into the pits actually, So where does Sailor rejoin? He rejoins again, just about in that third. As again, it looks like a car has gone off the circuit, and it's heavy damage for King of Torque on this occasion. Let's see what caused it. So this is coming up on the grass, just carrying way too much speed. That was very similar to what we saw, I want to say it was Bandit who did something like that, either qualifying or earlier on in the race, and instead of making their pit stop. So they are now on the mediums. They're still just about, oh my. So again, a massive slide from another car. I'm starting to wonder, is this a case of it being just the mediums that are sliding? King of Torque is on the mediums, so maybe it's the tyres that are contributing. The softs seem to be a fair bit more stable. Less than 5 minutes to go. And the gap between Sailor and Bandit, 3.8 seconds. Bandit's still on the softs from earlier on, and in fact they've picked up suspension damage from earlier, but they've decided to drive with it. So they're continuing to go on. It must be extremely difficult to drive with that damage, with physics that are relatively new. Well, I'm still intrigued to see how much the physics are affected, because I never noticed any change until I drove, I think it was the Lamborghini Huracan and the Ferrari 458 GT3s. And that was only to see if the physics might have improved them, and it indeed did. It's looking like Sailor's getting a bit close to their teammate. Perhaps just having a bit of a race within themselves, or the Team Black Diamond team. Sailor's got a lot more overtake mode left compared to their teammate. Bandit's still doing well, but is dropping back from Sailor, it has to be said. The suspension damage certainly contributing to part of that. King of Torque again, extremely twitchy. And has spun again. Look, everyone else seems to not be struggling as much with the car as King, which is very strange, as I have said. Will we get 50 laps out of this race? I just noticed. Joe the Fire is certainly going to try his best. He's currently got the fastest time with a 35.815. Fantastic time. I believe it's faster than his qualifying, of course. In qualifying, didn't have access to overtake mode, and he is just starting to charge a little bit with that extra power, or that extra rev range. Perhaps trying to see if he can bring it to 50 laps. So again, I feel bad that I'm constantly watching replays of King of Torque spinning, but there isn't really that much going on besides this at the moment, which is a real shame. nearly a collision with, I think that was Bandit, or no, it was actually race leader Joe who went through, so Joe's actually going into the pits. So this would be Joe the Fire's mandatory pit stop, but he's leaving till the last lap it would seem, so we're not quite gonna see 50 laps I think, or will we? It's gonna be close. King has gone into the pits, I assume for New Rubber. Yep, he's gone to the soft. It'll certainly benefit him to have the car more stable like that. 20 seconds left in this one. And again, it is going to be extremely close. We're going to go on board with Joe of the Fire. Will it be that 50 laps? Got 10 seconds to do it. It's certainly going to be 50 laps. He crosses the line now. Fantastic effort by him. And Spanner will cross the line. He just about gets onto that lap 50. Sailor crosses the line at the checkered flag. So they take third. It's going to be Bandit who comes on fourth. King of Torque makes it to the end. They collect the points for fifth. And a dominant display it has certainly been from this guy, the reserve, or the substitute, whatever you want to call him. It is going to be Joe of the Fire who wins here, race 1 of the finale at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. Finale of DRL Super Formula Season 1. Race 1 of 2, of course. So congratulations to Joe of the Fire for that. He's still wearing the racing suit from TSR GT300. That's amusing. It's got the old Nuke Shot logo on there and everything. But yep, congratulations to Joe of the Fire on that one. So we'll be having a reverse grid order for race 2. So just gonna go over the results of that one again. There you see the 10 runners that we did have at the start of things. In the end only 5 finished. I think even the Nürburgring 24 hours in real life has a better finishing rate than that, if I recall, but nevertheless, Joe of the Fire taking a win by 4.1 seconds from Ayrton Spencer. 2 laps down in the end was Sailor 3101. So it's the Team Black Diamond 2 and 3. GRM Bandit, second car of New Corso, so here's New Corso with a 1st and 4th in this race. So good result for that team. And King of Torque for Dynamic Esports, managing to make it to the end and pick up the points, which was deservingly so given their struggles. In the end, the fastest lap was a 35.815 set by Joe the Fire on lap 19. So with Carbon and James both not finishing that one, I'm gonna quickly check. The maximum points is 15 and the gap is 27, so that means that BRT James is the champion, the drivers' champion of Dynamic Racing League Super Formula. Congratulations to them. Just type this to them. So of course, congratulations to them. Maximum points you can get in race 2 is 15, and with a gap of 27 with Carbon not finishing. Although now that I think about it, I should probably double check, because King of Torque, he would have got 10, 105. No, that's still 20 points back. So that is confirmation that BRT James is the champion of DRL Super Formula. Congratulations to them. We still have one more race to go tonight. Of course, the 20-minute race with the reverse grid. Some of the guys, of course, managed to stick around after leaving the first race. We currently have 6 cars on track. Just Dynamic Carbon, who needs to join the track himself. Oh wait, no, I recall Carbon actually said that he can't race because of some kind of injury or just not feeling well. I recall hearing something on the Discord. Everyone will be starting on racing mediums. The option for pitting for softs is there, however, who will actually go for it, we'll have to see. Certainly, if you pick up damage, then it's certainly going to be your main opportunity of getting back up the order will be pitting and putting on that fresh set of softs. Suspected concussion, that was what he said, wasn't it, mine? Thanks for reminding me in chat. Basically, he bonked himself on the head, when translated to Northern English, I suppose. Some guys just going on to the track. AC Sailor. Solid race for Team Black Diamond as a whole, last one. So they're definitely going to be looking strong on the championship, the team's championship. So, the final race of the season. It has come down to this. It is going to be BRT James, our championship winner, on pole position. King of Torque will be alongside in second. GRM Bandit third, Sailor fourth, and Spanner fifth, and Joe of the Fire, our race 1 winner, in 6th. So again, we're about to go racing. Here, Brands has a jump start from, was that Ayrton Spanner? It was indeed Ayrton Spanner who had a jump start. So they're going to be stuck on the grid. King of Torque rockets his way up on the outside to first place, as that's one of the cars at the back. It looked like it was Joe the Fire actually ran into the gravel, as there's a scrap going on for second, as Sailor's starting to look a bit opportunistic, but has to back out of it on that occasion. So King of Torque up into the lead on lap 1. Things starting to get spicy already. King's actually managing to get away a bit. So after his rather tragic first race, it's starting to look a bit better for him in race 2. Although we have just had 1 lap. James looking close. James looking very close actually. As that's Sailor just running a little bit wide. And Spanner's starting to come up to the back of this train as well, as they're starting to scrap a bit. Black Cleaner certainly helping them. There you just about see them at the final car in that shot. And James will be having the slipstream. He's gonna try the outside, is he? No, not quite. Not on this occasion. King's car is looking a lot more stable now than it did in race 1, it has to be said. So perhaps the frustration's gone, as in fact, that's going to be Sailor looking to the inside through Graham Hill Bend. He's going to try and stick with him. There's a little bit of contact. It looks like James just about holds on to it. Unless Sailor manages a cutback. James is actually going into the pit. James is going for softs, is he? That is an interesting strategy, if that is the case. They are indeed going for softs. As the side-by-side between Ayrton Spanner and GRM Bandit, let's just have a quick replay of this move. So Ayrton Spanner just sends it down the inside of Druids. And Bandit tries his best to get a cutback. Doesn't quite work out. Joe the Fire up into third and is looking to challenge second. So they were at the back of the grid. Making their way forward. Putting the pressure on that Ford-powered machine. Certainly looking strong. As that's all. That was a major incident. That was Ayrton Spanner. Did he keep it out of the wall? No. Picked up damage from that. That's extremely unfortunate to see. We're gonna go on board with Brit, the Welshman rather. Forget, reminds me every time I see that helmet. Just running too wide onto the hill. And indeed, just a massive slide. He actually did keep it out the wall, but he must have had front aero damage from earlier on. And he's off again. What was this then? Just catching up replay after replay. They're just getting on the marbles? It looks like it almost. And then just sort of spat him out. Now Ayrton Spanner seems to be in the situation that King of Torque was, of just having an undrivable car. This is strange. Maybe it's some kind of glitch, if it's happening to different people. Because King of Torque is certainly looking a lot more comfortable with the car than he was earlier. Oh! Massive slide from Sailor, and that's really allowing Joe the Fire to catch up to the back of him. Ayrton Spanner is into the pits. He thinks his best chance now is to put on the softs. Can't blame him at all. So, Sailor just outside of the slipstream range of King of Torque. It's extremely strange to see how the car's working a lot better for King at this stage. But there he is, the Dynamic Esports BMW. Doing a very good job at this stage. In fact, there's Ayrton Spanner in the foreground for a second. So they're coming up to lap them already. In third, Joe of the Fire, of course, our race 1 winner. And he's going into the pits. He's going into the pits. He hasn't picked up damage. As that's someone facing the wrong way. What's this? It's James. What's happened to James? Let's just see this then. Was he just carrying too much speed? Yep. Just way too much speed. That's going to drop him off the back of the pack, at least for now. Indeed, Martin making comment that Joe will be going just for clear air and trying to get track position that way. Although pit stops aren't mandatory for race 2, they're optional. The whole point of pitting for the softs is that pace advantage you'd get on them, rather than, you know, expecting to get track position with an undercut later on. In race 2 anyway. Race 1, then it's completely mandatory that you must have a pit stop. Just the way the format is. King of Torque doing a fantastic job out in first. There's yellow flags. Who was that? That was Ayrton Spanner, wasn't it? Let's see if we can get a replay of this then. In fact, the livery seems to have glitched as well, which is odd. Went to the stock liveries and they just span out and into the wall on the inside. King of Torque doing a lot better. This is the King of Torque that we all know. Was there no driver in the car either? I didn't notice that. Thanks for pointing that out, Martin. We've seen cars without tyres or wheels racing in DRL Super Formula before. Now we have cars that are entirely remote control and don't even have drivers in them. Martin claiming it's witchcraft. It's certainly quite odd. Because we did see the likes of James at the Blue Moon Bay Oval, who became a unicycle at one point. Hopefully he's keeping all of his wheels for this one. King of Torque starting to gap Sailor with the overtake mode as well to his advantage. Oh, looked like they might have just ran a bit too wide, but no. They've kept it well. They've kept it very well. Bandit's up to third. Oh, sorry, I got excited because Joe the Fire made a pit stop. But Bandit nonetheless setting a personal best lap. And the Bandito with the purple and blue helmet starting to catch up to the back of Sailor again. 1.2 seconds is the gap between them. You can also see on the timing that Joe the Fire is constantly catching up with the clear air as well as the softs. It's only coming in clutch, but we'll have to see whether there'll be enough time for Joe to catch up fully and to make his way to the front yet again, because it's certainly looking like the top three are not making pit stops. Again, personal best sector 1 from Bandit. He's really closing up now. He's using a bit of the overtake mode as well. Less time to actually use your overtake mode in this race because it's 20 minutes instead of 30, so the drivers can be a bit more aggressive with it. We see the light flashing on the back of Bandit's bright yellow and green Benetton New Colosso machine, just clipping the grass on the outside that sent them a bit wide. Lucky to not run into the gravel at Paddock Hill. They also see the background Joe of the Fire really catching up. They are around 2.7 seconds behind. There you even saw Sailor with a shot. Yep, I was about to say race leader, but no, it's a bit further up the road. It's King of Torque. The gap really coming down. Less than a second between Bandit and Sailor. Bandit's going to really start putting on the pressure. Sooner or later we're going to go on board with the Bandito, making his way through Paddock Hill and now the Druid's hairpin. Very measured on the accelerator pedal, it certainly has to be said. Again, just running a bit wide up the hill. The gap's starting to increase a smidge, only by a tenth or so. Now it's starting to look like Joe the Fire is going to be overtaking Bandit before Bandit gets close enough to make a move on Sailor. Perhaps the two teammates will help each other by ganging up on Sailor a little bit in order to help them both get past. We'll have to see. Of course, in a fair way, of course, we hope. Rather than a complete Danny Kvyat dive bomb of Narnia. So here they are, second, third, and fourth. Coming up onto lap 19 through Paddock Hill yet again. And now it really is a case of Joe potentially being held up by his teammate. Joe on the softs. He's looking to the outside of Graham Hill Bend, and that's a very optimistic move, but he gets it just about done on his teammate. Yep, Joe the Fire up to third. That cost them both a fair bit of time though. The gap to Sailor now 1.5 seconds. Lowering a lot though, because Joe's using the overtake and he's using that softer compound. So Joe could certainly get up to second by the end of this race. Whether he could catch our race leader, King of Torque, is a completely other question. Joe currently has the fastest lap with a 35.690. That's even faster than they went last race, which is completely insane. Perhaps just to be more aggressive with the overtake mode again helps with that. He's really looking close to the back of Sailor on this occasion, going on board with Joe of the Fire. Looking to get a bit of a cutback. Going through Druids and now up to Graham Hill. Oh, Sailor kicking up a bit of dust. It'll be wise if he stays behind through this section and see if he can get a run going up to Paddock Hill. It looks like Sailor's outbroke himself a little bit. He's trying to cover the inside. And now he covers the inside and will force Joe to go to the outside coming up to Paddock Hill. Joe on the softer compound now could be more committed, and indeed Joe of the Fire gets the move done in fantastic fashion. The outside of course prone to more marbles as a slip from Sailor in the dirty air. Now Sailor will start worrying about falling off the podium altogether because Bandit will be closing up again. Gap just under a second between Sailor and Bandit. There is the Bandito Dorito Burrito, or whatever he's called again. Really closing up now. Not quite in the slipstream range, but getting there. Certainly getting there. He's got a fair bit of overtake left according to the green light. Let's just quickly compare the status. Oh wow, so it seems that Sailor hasn't used their overtake mode at all in this race, which is interesting. Perhaps, I don't know, maybe they don't have the button mapped on their controller, which is strange if that is the case. Unless they're just leaving it 100% to defend from Bandit. There's 5 minutes to go in this one. Bandit again, stepping on the throttle and stepping on the overtake. Or pressing, because it's more than likely a button. The Norwegian Sailor doing a very good job at the moment. Just holding on. It's got about maybe 9 laps left to go in this one. Up to complete lap 25, going on to lap 26. James, who, if I recall, pitted very, very early to go onto the softs after picking up damage, I think. But he suddenly came into the pits. He is on the soft. It's starting to wear a little bit, not to the extent that it'll be affecting pace. But nevertheless, they're doing well. They're catching Bandit a little bit. 6.7 seconds is the gap between those two. Now it's really looking close. That's Bandit getting it wrong. Bandit getting it wrong. Going into Paddock Hill. Let's just quickly see this again. Didn't quite see all of it. He just seemed to go to the inside grass and it just spat him completely out. And how he avoided picking up damage from that, I have absolutely no idea. But that's unfortunately dropped Bandit down to 5th place, and with James ahead of him on the softs, it's not looking good for Bandit to improve his position further unless there's another incident. Meanwhile, King of Torque has really been caught up by Joe of the Fire in these last few laps. The softs really coming into effect for Joe. It looks like he's going to have a bit of a run to the outside of Paddock Hill. King's going to try and squeeze his line as much as he can, and does so, effectively holding on to the position for now. Medium's doing well to tyre life. The soft's probably not doing as well, but certainly still having the pace in them at this stage. Now, King of Torque's overtake mode is still in the green, while Joe's is in the red. That could certainly come into effect. He has to slipstream and looks to the outside yet again. It didn't work the time before. He's looking for a cutback, which will send him to the inside. Oh, massive slice from King of Torque. Sees him still just hold on to that position. Both running a little bit wide up the hill. Gonna go to a rear wing shot on King of Torque's car. Coming up through the last corner. You can really see him right on the limit. If he did that in the last race, it seemed like his car would just start sliding. But he must be using the overtake on the straights now, just to defend. Doing a very good job of it so far. We're gonna go to Joe of the Fire's perspective. We're gonna have this and 2 more, I believe, with the laps that these guys keep on doing. So going on to the penultimate lap this time round, who is going to get the final win of the season? Will it be regular to DRL King of Torque, or will it be the newcomer to DRL Joe of the Fire? Both of these guys have proven in the various leagues that they've ran to be very, very high in pace. Again, just Joe trying to pick his mark, trying his best to get through. It's not worked out yet. Going on to the last lap. The clock has wound down to 0. It's going to be BLT James coming home in 3rd in the end of things, ahead of Sailor, who comes home 4th. Bandit 5th. And they're side by side going into the last little section. It's all or nothing for Joe of the Fire. He's going to throw absolutely everything into this. It's all about the exit. Looks to the inside, can't quite get it. It's going to be King of Torque who takes the final win of the season. Congratulations to them. Hard fought battle in the end, but King of Torque came out on top. Fantastic fight by them throughout that one, and a fantastic recovery after race 1 to just gather their composure again and take the win. That was absolutely fantastic to see. Hello to your boy Klondike in the chat. Oh, that was a decent race to end off the season, it certainly can be said. So there it is, the race results of the final round of DRL Super Formula Season 1 at least. Whether there'll be a Season 2 in the future, who knows. I know that we're going to be having a GT4 and a GT3 championship coming up after DTM finishes. DTM's still got a few rounds to go, so certainly stay tuned for that. King of Torque winning by less than a 1/10 of a second in the end of it. James was a lap down, but has won the Drivers' Championship, and that in itself is an amazing feat by him. I don't recall if he's actually won a championship before, maybe in some leagues that he's not told me about, but I know that he'll be quite happy with that. In 4th place, just off the podium in the end, it was Sailor, so James managed to overtake Sailor in the ladder stages. We just about missed that, I think, which is a shame. Bandit came home in 5th at the end of things, and Ayrton Spanner was a retirement. That is a fantastic idea, James. I shall quickly set up an interview with our champion. What a season it's been. It's been controversial at times, but a fantastic final race, it has to be said. Invite has been sent. We should be hearing from our Drivers' Champion shortly. And here he is. James, I assume you've got your voice share settings sorted out and the like?
Yep. I honestly haven't got the words. I really don't. I mean, going back to race 1, when I started 5th, I had no idea. Like, started 5th in practice, finished 5th in practice. I can't even speak. Yeah, if you'd have told me I'd win the championship, I honestly wouldn't believe you. I'd tell you now. So yeah, yeah.
Just trying to still take it all in, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, plus with that race that happened just then, I didn't even expect a podium after that, because I had such a terrible start, and then I think it's like 2 or 3 laps after I pitted for softs, I think I'm spun on, like, coming out of the last corner, so yeah.
Well, you can rest up now and enjoy the trophy, which is invisible because budget reasons, and of course the invisible champagne as well.
I mean, I've got a giant bottle of Coke next to it I could always spray, but you know, I don't think anybody would be too happy about that.
Yeah, of course. I did have a question in my head. It's just about oh, here it is. Is this the first actual league racing championship you've won? Out of curiosity.
Yes, it is. That's the first anything league racing I've ever won.
That's absolutely fantastic to hear. So congratulations, James. That was a fantastic drive from you all season.
Thank you.
Hope to see you sometime in the future, whether another series or whether this one returns for you to defend your championship.
I hope this one returns.
Alright. So again, thanks for the interview, and of course congratulations on the championship.
Thank you.
That's quite a story, it has to be said. What an amazing drive by James, it has to be said, all season long. Always at the sharp end of the field. And a fantastic way to end the season off with a fantastic scrap that came down to less than a 1/10 of a second between first and second place. I hope you've enjoyed the season that we've had. I've certainly enjoyed it as well. Hopefully we'll be seeing Super Formula on the menu again in DRL in the future at some point. It's currently not planned to return, but we do have other series which will be coming up in the form of DRL GT and DRL GT4. So Group 3 and Group 4 series. In those, we still have the remainder of DRL DTM. You can join us tomorrow for the broadcast of that. It's going to be another action-packed race, no doubt. I hope you've, again, enjoyed the stream. If you have, leave a like, perhaps consider subscribing, because this is where I at least do a lot more of my own content as opposed to on my own channel, which is kind of funny. Thanks to all the viewers who have tuned in throughout the season. Thanks to Dynamic Carbon, it has to be said, and all the stewards, TSR Stig, Martin as well. Thanks again also to all the drivers that have competed throughout the season and for sticking with it to the end. And I hope to see you sometime in the future. This has been Nuke Shot Zokyo for the last time this season of DRL Super Formula, signing out. Still not part of the Radio Show Limited Network.